on a thin black sheet of glass. She saw both the lights flash before her eyes. She didn't even have time to cry. She was so...
Just 3 days before Decker disappeared with his 3 daughters, he was in an accident. And there is footage from this accident. There is conversations directly from the person that Decker hit, stating that Decker was fidgety, that he was nervous, and that he did not want the police to be called. The person that Decker hit did say that Decker seemed nervous and fidgety, that he begged to not call the police. Welcome back to the channel. I am Shannon from Only Shannon Knows, and if you're new here, I cover true stories. I am dedicated to covering true crime, to digging deep, and to providing alternative theories as well, and really asking the hard questions that nobody else wants to ask. Today's video does dive deep into the newly released police dash cam footage involving Travis Decker just days before he vanished with his 3 daughters. So let's go into this. In the footage, Travis does appear visibly shaken. Let's view this video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, this is from King 5 News. I am going to provide commentary throughout the video.
It's the most routine of calls. A fender bender on the street just outside a Safeway store in Chelan County. 35-19-41. Responding Wenatchee police officer Timothy Jeffress walks up to 2 men. In days, one of them will become the most wanted fugitive in the country.
Decker's homeless. He's homeless and he doesn't have insurance, which we'll find out. And he has this beautiful car, SUV, truck.
That's Travis Decker in the white t-shirt.
He obviously has his hair down here. He does not have it pulled back, but that is Decker. This is the person that he hit.
Travis Decker in the white t-shirt just after his truck rammed this Ford Mustang at a stoplight. The police report says Decker was cited.
So the police report, let's go back to this. Let me play this again.
That's Travis Decker in the white t-shirt just after his truck rammed this Ford Mustang at a stoplight. The police report says Decker was cited.
So let's see, Decker was cited for, let's see, the
white t-shirt just after his truck rammed this Ford Mustang at a stoplight. The police report.
So let's look at this police report right here. License plate, 911 line. Fender bender pulled into safety, close to gas pumps. There was a delay to start exchanging information. So what the police reports are saying here is there is a fender bender. They pulled off to safety. However, there was a delay in exchanging this information. Non-reportable collision, exchange of information provided, and driver will be getting a ticket in the mail for no insurance. That is talking to Decker. And following too closely. So he received 2 tickets. Interesting. He'll get tickets in the mail, but he's homeless. Anyway, let's go on.
It says Decker was cited for no insurance and following too closely.
Last of Decker versus Travis.
The officer's dash.
Another item as well is that I've been pulled over. I think all of us have been. But when you're pulled over, they ask if that address on your driver's license is correct. If he was homeless, interesting. It would be interesting to know what his response was. They don't show that in this video, but I'll have to see if I can get the full 19-minute footage and see if I can get that information. But I'm so curious, what did he provide? What address did he provide? Where was he living? Because he wasn't. He was homeless. All of us know that.
Cam recorded this encounter 3 days before Decker picked up his daughters, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, from his ex-wife's home, and police say killed them at a campsite outside Leavenworth.
Allegedly. He's not been found guilty.
In the manhunt that followed, investigators released photos and this Ring doorbell video of the 39-year-old Decker. But this video, at 19 minutes 41 seconds long, is more revealing. The man whose car Decker hit declined an on-camera interview, but he described Decker as nervous and fidgety. He kept telling me please not to call police.
Which I'm going to interject right here. I don't notice Decker nervous and fidgety. I'll comment where there is a unique interaction. I will say, of course, Decker doesn't want the police to be called. He did not have insurance. That is a huge fine. So, of course, he probably didn't want police to be called. And he was in, which we'll see soon, he was in an accident prior to this. Very recent, like a hit and run. So, of course, he doesn't want police to be called. He didn't want to be cited. Anyway, let's go on.
The man said he was sympathetic, but had to report the crash. And Decker looked almost intimidating to me, although it was more a vibe than anything Decker said. In the video, we see Decker with his arms crossed, looking almost bored. Then he walks over and leans against his...
He doesn't look almost bored. He's probably, oh man, I'm in trouble again, in all reality.
Later, he sits on the bumper and then rests his head on the truck bed like he's exhausted.
Oh, I'm sorry, he probably is exhausted because he has been homeless, or maybe he's ready to get out of there. Who knows? Sometimes the news can be a little bit over dramatic.
But it was the conversation with the crash victim that was the most unusual. I could tell he was not in his full senses, the man said, describing Decker's odd questions and answers and his body language.
Which I would love to know those odd questions and answers.
Decker complained, "I'm going to jail," and the man couldn't seem to convince him that he wouldn't be jailed over a minor traffic accident.
Which is very true.
In the days after the girl's disappearance in early June, we reported on court records revealing Decker's mental health issues.
So let's look at these court records. Let's see if I can pull these court records up. Let me see if I can increase the screen here.
In the days after the girl's disappearance in early June, we reported on court records.
Whitney Decker, her ex-husband Travis Decker, had failed to return her 3 children at 2,000 hours in violation of their agreed-upon court-ordered parenting plan. Corporal Gonzalez noted Whitney appeared to be distraught and looked like she had recently been crying. She advised that her and Decker were previously married but had been divorced for several years and had 3 children together. The two had a parenting plan in place, with the most current one issued by a judge September 27, 2024. The current parenting plan limits Decker's visitation to every other weekend, with specific hours of Fridays from 5 p.m. to 2,000 hours, Saturdays from 1,100 to 1,900 hours, and Sundays from 900 to 1,700 hours. The order also specifies no overnight visits, and the visits will only occur in the Wenatchee Valley. Whitney reported that Decker picked up their daughters from the residence, and it provides the address there, at the scheduled time of 1,700 hours, but did not return around 2,000 hours. She stated that she attempted to call Decker multiple times, but his cell phone went straight to voicemail, which typically means the cell phone is off or without service. Whitney expressed concerns because Decker reportedly has never done this before, and further noted he has currently experienced some mental health issues. At the time of the initial report, Whitney explained that Decker does not currently have a stable residence and is considered homeless. He is known to often stay in hotels/motels, or he camps at local campgrounds, but Whitney did not know where to find him. Corporal Gonzalez stated that he attempted Decker's cell phone. Now, I cannot see what else is left in these documents. Let's see.
Revealing Decker's mental health issues, that he was homeless and living out of his truck. This was one of 2 car crashes that may have been more evidence that the former Army Ranger was spiraling out of control. King 5 obtained this brief police report from his...
So this is from brief police report. Again, it doesn't have his address. Interesting. I would love to know what that is. And it has his social security number. I'm just seeing. So this happened at the grocery store outlet. Obviously, it was at Safeway. It doesn't really provide any other information.
First car accident on May 4th, in which the caller was...
So May 4th was the first accident. So his first was May 4th, where he was rear-ended by a truck, and the truck continued on, which that is Decker, Travis Decker.
Rear-ended by a truck continued on.
Mm-hmm.
With a license plate number, police determined the hit-and-run driver was Travis Decker. The victim in that accident declined an on-camera interview, but said he did not pursue charges because his white Honda CR-V was not damaged. He said he did not know Decker was the runaway driver until we called. 3 weeks after that hit and run, the dash cam video of the next crash ends with Decker extending his hand.
Red flags.
The crash victim told me today that his heart stopped when he saw a Facebook post 4 days later that said Decker had disappeared with his 3 daughters. This whole thing's been very upsetting to him, and he doesn't want to believe that he could have had anything to do with pushing Decker over the edge.
I'm going to make a little commentary about the news here, King 5. I can't imagine that anybody would ever think they're not responsible for pushing Decker over the edge, right? First of all, the person was just driving, and Decker rear-ended them. That was his fault. He rear-ended them. Maybe he thinks because he called the police. Maybe he thinks that pushed him over the edge. Highly doubt it. Travis Decker seemed perfectly fine to me, other than that awkward handshake. But he seemed perfectly fine to me. So, anyway, let's see what this article says. So the video was 19 minutes and 41 seconds. It was dash cam video from the police. 3 days later, Decker did disappear. Leaning up against his truck, he looked exhausted. So King 5 reported in June that Decker was involved in 2 auto collisions 3 weeks apart, and that along with court records about his mental health, this could be evidence that the former Army Ranger's mental health was deteriorating. So in the court records, his ex-wife, Whitney Decker, warned the judge that Decker was living out of his truck and questioned his ability to provide a safe place for his 3 girls to visit. Records just released by Wenatchee Police Department include a brief accident report filed on May 4th by a couple whose Honda CR-V was rear-ended by a truck, and that truck continued on. So we have a hit and run on May 4th. Then we have this accident, which is 3 weeks later, where, again, he did not have insurance. He rear-ended the vehicle, and he did get a ticket for that. I'm a little shocked. Obviously, the people did not press charges, but if there is a hit-and-run accident, I'm shocked that the police didn't actually press charges with regards to the hit-and-run. It is a unique situation because you don't need to press charges with regards to an accident, but the fact that it was hit and run, come on. Anyway, so let's see, the May 27th, so this was May 27th, the dash cam video ends with Decker extending his hand for an uncomfortable 9-second long handshake with the crash victim. I agree with that. The victim tried to pull, so this is from the victim, he tried to pull his hand away, but Decker kept asking him if he was going to be okay. He did get a full grip on my hand, the man said. Youch. That's just so uncomfortable having. Days later, so the man saw a Facebook post about the missing girls and recognized Decker, and that shocked him. I had to stop what I was doing and sit down, he said. Man, let's look at this handshake again. Yeah, I don't know. Am I picking this apart? Let me know below, but
truck continued on. He did not know Decker was the runaway driver until we called. In what would become ends with Decker extending his hand in what would become an uncomfortable.
Okay, we're gonna analyze this handshake right here. Very uncomfortable. As the victim, he stated that he tried to pull his hand. Imagine shaking hands with somebody and you're trying to pull your hand away and they're not letting go of your hand. Super creepy, right? So anyway, let's see this.
9-second long handshake with Decker asking the man if he'll be okay. That was tucked away in police file.
That is just creepy. Anyway, other than the creepy handshake, it seems as though Decker was just going about his day, even though he has nowhere to live, he doesn't have car insurance, and he was just in an accident 3 weeks earlier, a hit and run. Odd, and still Wenatchee police did not do anything about this. Anything. Shocker. Just shocks me. Yes, he did get a ticket, but at least he should have gotten charged for the hit and run. Anyway, let's continue to stay tuned on this. So with regards to his mental health, these are my thoughts, is that this moment was really more than a traffic stop. It may have been a glimpse into a mind unraveling. Decker, he's former military. He was reported battling PTSD, borderline personality disorder. He had stopped treatment and he was spiraling, and no one intervened. As I mentioned, I can't believe the police did not do anything about a hit and run, that they did not charge him for that. So what happened next? 3 days later, on May 30th, Travis picked up his daughters, which should have been, again, the routine custody exchange, and then poof, they disappeared. All three of them disappeared. Now, authorities do believe that this crash and his disturbing behavior were crucial warning signs, but they were not recognized in time. What am I asking? What are your thoughts? Could this have been prevented? What would you have done if you saw something like this? I want to hear from you in the comments below. Love diving deep into all of these cases with everybody. If you're a first responder or someone who has struggled with mental health, what is your story? You can comment below. My story with PTSD, I have that as well. I can always link it to the end of this video. I was recently diagnosed with PTSD. My story is across my channel, so go and look at my old videos if you're interested. It is similar in a way to Whitney's, where I was fighting for custody of my children due to their dad and his mental health struggles and his alcoholism. If you believe we need a better system in place, I do. I went through the court system. I did what Whitney did. Now, my situation was a little different. There was domestic violence involved. There was DV involved. So my situation was different. But the system does need to change. It is exhausting trying to get custody of children, trying to protect your children. And it's not a case of trying to take kids away from their dad or vice versa. It is trying to ultimately protect these children. And so people who have come back from serving, I know that the VA system, or I've heard that the VA system needs to be changed as well. I have friends who struggle with PTSD and consistently have issues. Share this video. Let's be a part of a bigger conversation. Number one, we need to bring awareness as to Travis Decker. Not everybody does. That has been in my comments as well, is that not everybody knows about Decker. So share this video, please. Subscribe as well, as more content does drop. And then the other item is, let's talk about what nobody else is talking about. And really that is how the system fails people like Whitney and and the girls and children. There is a gap in the system. It is extremely bad. It does depend on the state. I will say that. It depends on the state. But unless the children are actually being abused directly themselves, the system does not necessarily protect them until it is too late. So comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And let's just get into this together and let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Alrighty. Everybody, enjoy your day. Stay tuned. Only Shannon Knows, telling real stories, real truth, true crime.